Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name's Chris, and tonight I checked out the new Neil Blomkamp movie, Demonic. So Demonic is about this woman who has a troubled relationship with her mother. Her mother was a felon who murdered a bunch of people like 20 years in the past, and now she's in some sort of coma-like state in this advanced state-of-the-art laboratory place where they're running some experiments on her. And our main character, Carly, played by Carly Pope, goes into her mind via this new technology, and it turns out there may be some supernatural, demonic things going on. So, I really wanted to like this movie, and I think in premise there's a lot of interesting things, but in execution, it's not quite all there for me. So, Neil Blomkamp has a spotty track record. I like a lot of his stuff, but not everything. And that's kind of how I feel about this movie. There's things that I do like about it. So in premise, it has kind of like the Cell movie with Jennifer Lopez mixed with your generic supernatural thing, but also like stuff from that game called Fear. And it's a weird mishmash that I'm kind of on board for. I like the science versus superstition angle that they could go for. And I think what my problem with a lot of this is that the beginning introduces this cool sci-fi element, and I thought it was going to be more hard sci-fi, or at least kind of lean more in that direction, but it's quickly kind of thrown out and goes in this weird, ridiculous, over-the-top schlockiness and a lot of just generic horror stuff, and it just doesn't all come together. I kind of like the look of the movie. I don't think it's shot amazingly, but it's not bad. I like the graininess and the soft focus they have going on. It definitely feels smaller scale than a lot of the stuff Blomkamp has done in the past, obviously, because this is a COVID movie, and it makes sense. There's a really small cast, not too many locations. It just really feels like a small movie. It almost feels like there's not really a world outside these characters in a lot of ways. So that being said, I feel like if you're focusing on just a few characters, they need to be really deep and nuanced if you want to be really invested in the movie, and they're just not. There is like this emotional core and arc of the movie with a few of the characters, but by the end it kind of wraps up how you think it will, and I never really felt anything along the way, so the emotional drama just didn't land for me. There is that sci-fi element where we enter the person's mind, and like I said, I compared it to The Cell, which is kind of what they were doing, entering this person's dreams, but in this, it's kind of like if you've ever gone to like a 3D street view of Google Maps or something, where it's like taking rough photos and applying 3D models to it, but in a very, rudimentary way. It's kind of cool. It's glitchy and kind of neat. I guess that's kind of like the most stylish aspect of the movie. It's sort of memorable. The rest doesn't really stick out to me as anything unique looking. So I kind of like that element, but I don't know. It didn't really work though either. It was just kind of interesting, I guess. This movie got way sillier than I was expecting. And the thing of it is like, doesn't really embrace those super silly ideas that it drops though either in a way. It never really embraces any of the concepts it brings here. And individually, I kind of like all those concepts. But the problem is the movie goes in one direction, and then things kind of slow down, and then you'll have just characters do these large exposition dumps, and nobody questions anything. It just is what it is, and there's like massive logical leaps and characters acting in ways that are just ridiculous, and like I said, it just becomes really silly and dumb. I like silly, dumb movies though, but it's weird because the beginning and the first half kind of feel like it's trying to be a little bit more cerebral, maybe a little bit more thoughtful, and then the second half feels like it's trying to be schlocky, generic horror, but kind of fun. But both of those things don't really go far enough in those directions to really be hitting where they need to be. And it's like two average things jammed together in this weird package. So I wasn't bored while I was watching it, but it definitely didn't live up to my expectations or my hopes, I guess. I didn't find it scary at all either. There's definitely moments in here that are cool and interesting. Blomkamp has done some short films that have some horror elements, and I guess some of his other movies do have some horror elements, but I feel like a lot of the moments where they're trying to be subtle with their creepiness really doesn't work. And then some of the like over-the-top just horror trope stuff was just so derivative of things you've seen before as well. So I don't know, there's a nugget here, and I like that they tried to take that horror stuff and jam it into a more, you know, kind of interesting sci-fi concept. I don't think it all comes together though in the end. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I think the premise is cool. I just don't think the execution's there that great on the premise. So that's it for Demonic. It's out now. Maybe you should check it out if any of this sounds interesting. If you've seen it and you disagree or you agree, let me know below. Like the video, subscribe, that'll help out the channel, and I will catch you here next time, guys. Goodbye.